What's up, guys? Commando Santa here, and welcome back to another episode of Jubilee Gardens. So today I am joined by the lovely Ruble Trillions, and then for those of you that do not know him, let's have you do an intro, Ruble.
Hey man, thanks. Appreciate you having me on the channel, and looking forward to what you did in the park. Most of you by now probably have seen the first episode over on my channel, which I know you're going to put the video in there. So if you haven't, definitely check that out. But yeah, I'm also a YouTube creator, mostly Planet Coaster. I've been trying to get into some other stuff like City Skylines, but just really enjoying this game right now. And if you don't know any of my work, I'm building a Paris park, a Paris-inspired park. And if you frequent like Reddit or Twitter or anything like that, you've probably seen some shots of the Eiffel Tower I made, but that's sort of, I guess, how people know me most. And then reached out to Commando Santa about doing a collaboration, and you know, a lot of people have been spending time doing more realistic builds and more realistic parks, and you know, just kind of had the itch to get into some of that, and thought it would be a great way to do that, and definitely like the work you do, so seemed like a great way to partner and do this collaboration. So
Well, thank you. I really appreciate it. And it's really funny that you say that you want to do more realistic things, because, I mean, I think I said that with the last episode, but, like, your Paris park is absolutely amazing. Like, it's realistic. Like,
well, thanks. I guess from the standpoint of realistic in terms of like a theme park, so even though my park, I would agree, I think is very realistic representation of Paris, from like a theme park standpoint, I mean, let's be real, unless like several billionaires got together and really had a love for Paris, that park would probably never exist in real life. So
you remake Paris in like a miniature scale.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, so I guess we'll do like a quick summary of, just for in case we get some new people here, just kind of like what we're working on. So we're kind of doing Jubilee Gardens, which is going to be an amazing collaboration between yourself and I, and we're going to do more of a contemporary, but with a few of like these alternate styles. And for those of you who have not seen the video already, make sure to go check out the first video, which is going to be on Ruble's channel. And then we're pretty much going to be flip-flopping every 2 weeks. I'm fairly certain we talked about that.
Yeah, every 2 weeks. Just because we've both got other projects, and then we both have a personal life as well. So
yeah, we both have jobs, so we have to do things. So yeah, I guess we'll get into what I have been working on after we're here. So what I ended up, tackling is Main Street. And I thought I was going to make it a lot further than I did, but this was completely like a new game to me comparatively to like Buffalo Valley, because like I am so used to working with wooden objects and like just hefty like forest scenery and stuff like that I haven't been really exposed to the type of building that really you're used to almost with your Paris park. And like this was, I'm not gonna lie, this was very, very tough for me. But I'm really happy with the results. But like I ended up only doing about like 2 buildings, and they turned out fantastic though. But I totally understand how people like spend all the time ever on this stuff. But
yeah, I mean, so first of all, everything I've seen looks awesome. So a great start to the Main Street. I can't wait to get the park back. But I don't, you know, I'm sure people that are familiar with my park, you know, see how slowly I've progressed, like, and it just seems like maybe I'm just bad at the game or slow at the game or something. But it's honestly building with like a lot of detail, and especially the more you have to use the advanced move tool versus just being able to use like the you know, like the grid, the longer it takes to build, I think. And I don't know of any great shortcuts to get around that.
Yeah, and really though, like one of the things that I kind of learned was a few better, I guess, I don't know, building styles almost with this kind of building. And like, I've never been to exposed with this kind of building before this park. So it was definitely a learning experience for me, I guess, in short. But I really think it turned out pretty okay. I'm pretty happy with it. I just wish I could have done a little bit more, but you know, I'm still learning as well.
Yeah, no, I think, and I know off camera we talked about that there's going to be things that I know we learn from each other, and like even your building technique with the buildings, I'm sure there's things that I can learn. Like I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'm guessing where you're going to go here is, I think you do a custom roof on this side, but it looks like maybe you use the grid piece. Yeah,
so I originally was going to, so I base these buildings off of the confectionery from Disney, Main Street on Disney, and I was originally trying to get like these roof pieces, but they're a little bit too wide for my tastes for this, so I ended up having to do completely custom roof pieces. And I was originally going to do something different, but then I looked at the way you did your arch on your main building, on the entrance building, and I'm like, oh, that's a really good idea. So I ended up trying that. And then the only thing I had to do other than this was, so we got the slope up like that, but then we had like the side kind of panel slopes that are a little bit more steep. And I had to pretty much hit the angle a little bit. And yeah, that was a lot of time doing this.
Yeah, and those are the little things that it doesn't, when you watch it on a time lapse, it doesn't seem like it's that painstaking, but it can be.
Yeah,
for sure. But even, like an example of, like I said, there's definitely things that everyone can learn doing collaboration. I mean, like using a grid piece along with custom stuff is something that I am not very good at, and it would definitely improve the speed of my builds. So I need to, hopefully I can pick up a trick or two from you on that.
Yeah, and I really hope I'll give you all the help you need too. Just same thing, you've gave me some help as well already. So yeah, this has been very, very fun though, in all honesty. Like, I know I've been taking like almost all the time of my life the past 2 weeks working on this pretty much. Like, even to the point where like I feel bad, but I didn't really get Buffalo Valley out this week. But I mean, I was working on a lot of this, and we also had the holiday this week too.
Yeah.
But I really wanted to finish this and make this look good as well. But yeah, the custom pieces, they take some time, that's for sure.
I love the little detail you put in the corner of the roof up there.
Yeah,
that looks great.
That was actually on the building, and I could only fit those pieces correctly there because they have those little arches in the corner on all sides of every part of the roofs on the building I was basing this off of. Mm-hmm. But I guess it only fit on that part because I tried to put them in like the other corners and it didn't really look well. So because it stuck out a little bit too much and it didn't look right, and you got like the corners, and so I left them only on there. But right now I'm working on the lights. Pretty much I did the trim. That was like the coolest thing I think I did with this.
Yeah, it looks great. Like,
one take home that I suggest people do with like Main Street parks is like do that side trim where you kind of like trim the entire building with those rope lights. It looked really cool. And I'll definitely put some night shots in it, like for the cinematics in the end. That's going to look really, really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'll definitely, I think for the next, once I get the park file back, I think I'll probably continue working on the Main Street. So I'll definitely continue to carry that theme throughout as well. And I've seen people do cool stuff with those lights, like in the trees and stuff like that too. So that might be something that would be cool to add to the Main Street as well.
Yeah, that's one thing I kind of wanted to add, but I didn't really have not really time, but like I didn't really want to add it yet because, we talked a little bit earlier off camera about like our thoughts about the center kind of pathway there. And I kind of wanted to do a line of trees along each side maybe. And we could possibly do lights in them, which might actually look really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I won't venture into the trees on my own. That's something that I'll definitely let you kind of take the lead on.
Okay, sure. So. Yeah, because in all honesty, like I say that I kind of wanted to do a little bit more with Main Street. In all honesty, I expected Main Street to be a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And for one, I don't really know how long we want it to be as well.
Yeah, I think, it'll, once I get in there and look, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I do like the idea of having an odd number of buildings. So I was thinking maybe like 5 on each side. So, and they don't all have to be like super wide, just looking at some of the source images we've kind of shared. I mean, there's some buildings in between there that, for all intents and purposes, it's probably more like a half a building wide,
Yeah.
But it still represents its own building. So something like that I think would be good.
Yeah, I know, like, in all honesty, I've never been to the Disney in both Disneys, really. I mean, I went when I was super young, but some of those like stock images I was looking at for like Disney off Main Street, I don't know how they fit a shop in there. It was that like tiny of a building. And like, I think the second building across the street here, I actually made that bigger because the source material, it kind of looked like a really tiny building. I'm like, how, because it was an ice cream shop, I think. And I'm like, how do you fit an ice cream shop in this tiny of a building?
Yeah. Yeah. And same thing. I haven't been forever either. And I went when I was a kid. So I'm sure it's changed dramatically, but I wonder if some of them are like, from the outside it looks like 2 buildings, but you step into one of them and it's really one interior made up of like 2 facades. So
yeah,
I don't know if that's the case for some of them. I mean,
I
some
think
of them
that
are
might be the
definitely their
case.
Own.
Yeah, because for the ice cream shop, I did notice that there was another ice cream shop directly next to it, so that might actually be the case.
Okay.
That's actually something I didn't think about, huh? But yeah, one of the things that I was lacking for this was, and one of the things I'm not good at, was actually making these buildings kind of like functioning. I know we talked about not doing interiors really because they would take a lot of time, and just kind of like the way we build these things, we have a lot of stuff sticking through on the other side. It would be really tough to kind of do an interior. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to do, but I couldn't really do in this episode, was get those like shops that are like facing the sidewalk. So I guess I'll leave that to you, really, if you want to try and do that. Yeah,
I think, in terms of like the interior and stuff, there's obviously some buildings that are going to be more suited to that than others. And, like you said, most of the way that we build, there's a lot of, you go inside the building, there's a ton of pieces sticking through the walls and things like that. So, some of them might not be feasible, but there might be some here or there that are. And honestly, in my own park, that's something that I struggle with a lot. So, it's a struggle either way you look at it. So you can either struggle to get one of those shops inside of the building and then do an interior, or you can struggle to find a way to make it look good so that it's facing the sidewalk, like it's a shop front, not an interior. So, and that's in my park, that's something that I struggle with a lot. And, I'm happy with the way I've been able to kind of implement those things, but I had to, I guess the difficulty is that when you're looking at a source image and it's clearly a functioning building with an interior, and then you try to turn that into a shop front, that's really difficult to do.
Yeah, it's like you took a hacksaw and cut a hole into it, and that's what it looks like.
Right. So to make that look good and make it look natural is not easy to do. So I may, for some buildings, depending on how detailed they are in the exterior, or how much how many pieces are sticking through, some of them that are going to be better suited than others, and for the ones that are, I'll probably try to do some sort of interior, not anything crazy like some of the stuff you see, I don't know if you've seen Blue Spirit's park. Some of the interiors he's done are insane. So yeah, and honestly, something that we should try and should look into, and I haven't really done yet in the game, is the the new billboard features that we've seen people do crazy stuff with already.
Yeah, like I saw a few people that do like the nighttime lights almost, because that's the one issue we have. We don't really have interior lighting, so the windows don't light up at night, so it kind of just looks bland and boring. And like, I forget, do you know who did that? They actually put the billboards in the windows.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember who did it.
Yeah, and I think that sounds like it'd be like, I don't know, but that was just amazing. I totally forget who it was.
Yeah, it looked fantastic. I mean, before I had seen someone use that technique with like the little square sign, the in-game sign, what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I've seen people do that where they sink it in, but it it looks lit up during the day as well, which is the problem. So
yeah.
So it looks really good. I mean, it looks super natural. But also, you know, it's just even some of the other stuff like the wallpaper, you know, custom flooring, things like that I've seen people do with the billboards already. You know, I haven't ventured in at all with yet, but that could help us to make quicker work of some interiors if we decide to do them. So
yeah, that's very true. And kind of going back to like Blue Spirit stuff, that's like one person I do send a lot of people over if they're looking for some interior stuff. I do send them to Blue Spirit stuff because it's really cool.
Yeah, I think so. The last episode I watched of his, just because I haven't had a lot of time, so sorry if you're listening to this and you have a new episode out. But the last episode I watched was where he did an interior on like a shop, and he did like a custom fireplace and all kinds of stuff without any of the new stuff in the game. Like he did it all without any of the custom billboards or the video boards or anything like that. Because I've seen people do fireplaces now with like, you know, you have a video of a fireplace and you sync that into the wall and sort of make a fireplace around it. But he did it with like the in-game special effects and all that stuff. It was ridiculous.
And like a chimney with smoke coming out.
Yeah.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So we're completely gushing over him right now. I hope he watches this.
Yeah, seriously. If not, hopefully someone will. We should put a link in the description to his page because it's really good.
Oh yeah, we for sure will.
But yeah, if he's not watching it already, he will notice it, I'm sure, because people hopefully will go check out his channel. But
yeah, he does some really cool stuff, and he definitely deserves more subscribers.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, I'm pretty much finishing up this building right now. And that's one of the things, you know, we talked about earlier, which is kind of like finding almost like tricks and shortcuts. And one of the things I did with this building was I did the right facade first. And I got that completely done. And then I pretty much copied it over to the other side because the left side's pretty much a mirror image. Mm-hmm. And then I filled in the middle with all the old, pretty much the new stuff. But I mean, it's almost a carbon copy of like the right and left sides, but it was just slightly different.
Yeah, it looks
and then
like
I also
the roof's different, maybe.
Yeah, the roof was the only thing I had to do again. So I've did like 3 different custom roofs for this thing. That's where most of the time went.
The ground floor looks awesome, though. The way you mixed up the windows and stuff, it looks really natural. That's really cool.
I was really happy with like the windows. Yeah, with the bay windows at the bottom. Yeah, that's one thing I actually played around with for a lot of my like episodes of Columbia, which I've been like completely forgetting about.
Yeah.
And because most of the ground floors for like the Columbia stuff and BioShock Infinite were like these bay windows, and they were all like the wooden windows, and then up above was all concrete and stuff. And I actually finally got that down to like down packed after like a few episodes of doing that. So that's one thing I did pretty quick here, and that's why like I think the first thing I did in this episode was build that bay window on the right side. So,
yeah, they look awesome. They look really realistic, so I can't wait to get the park back.
Go ahead, sorry. I just want to see inside, you know. That's like the only thing it's missing is being able to see inside.
Yeah. I know, with the like the in-game windows and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get why they kind of did what they did, but it would be nice, I agree, if we had some clear windows, cuz the couple of pieces in the game that do have glass are amazing. Like they're really good, and you see glass like even on the monorail. So we know that they can do a good job. Like Frontier can make glass look good in the game. I'm sure it's just a performance thing, would be my guess. I don't know enough about that stuff, but
yeah, I know. I think Schematics talked about that for a while, the podcast.
Yeah,
which was pretty funny.
Yeah. So, God, what was I going to say? The shop front. So that's something that do you think that there's any room inside of that building to get any sort of interior in, or is there too many pieces sticking through?
There might be too many pieces sticking through, and the issue I find with doing interiors for like a building like that is that there isn't a small enough path almost because most of the doors are single doors. And it's like really hard to actually navigate a path in there and get people to like go in there naturally where it doesn't look like they're phasing through walls.
Yeah, that would be good. It would be nice if they could give us a regular path width that's the same as the fast pass queue.
Yeah, well, like, yeah, I think it's like 2 meters or something.
Yeah, something like that would be nice.
Now, this brick building over here that I'm currently working on, that I might be able to stick some kind of shop in there.
Okay. Yeah, because we could use that trick with the front door there that I've seen other people use, where you just basically take the same door and make it look like it's open, you know?
Yeah.
And direct a path through there. So we can look at that kind of stuff. Because it's, you know, it's hard. I don't know what's going to be more difficult, to either try to get a shop front into these buildings or to just make the buildings functional.
Yeah.
So that's something that will not obviously be our first concern. Like, we want to get a fleshed out main street that looks good, and then we can figure it out from there. But
yeah, that's one of the things I also thought about. As much as I like wanted to detail these completely, I figured we can always get Main Street completely done and then go back and blend it all together almost.
Yeah, for sure.
And like get the fine details, like the, I don't know, stuff that go along the path and everything.
Yeah, and I know too, like, we talked about doing, you know, a backstage and stuff too, but I agree. I want to get, you know, I think it makes more sense to get a fully fleshed out street and then kind of get into that stuff. And, you know, I think there's a balance of getting these buildings done and getting, you know, we obviously have to get the main street done because that'll help us kind of get the flow of the park from there. But, you know, I think there's a good mix in these videos of, at least I've learned from my own channel, where my first like 7 episodes were all buildings, that there's a good mix of getting buildings and then like ride construction in these videos. So
yeah, you're still working on Main Street, right?
yeah. So my next episode will be my first coaster, but yeah. It's people have been clamoring for that for a while, so which I get, I understand, because after all, it's a theme park game. So
that is very true. I mean, you know, a lot of the builders, a lot of stuff we do, I mean, isn't explicitly theme park. I mean, some of the things people do in this game as well just don't even scream theme park. It's really funny. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like you get the crazy, like, you know, one type ride things where it's almost like an experience instead of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely true.
Yeah, it's really funny, some of the things that people do. Yeah. And I think, like, I wonder if Frontier even like expected it at first.
I would be surprised if they had, honestly. I mean, gosh, when they first came out, like the beta. So I didn't have a PC when the beta and the alpha stuff came out. So I just started watching, you know, YouTube videos and, you know, watching like Silverette talk about, you know, just figuring out ways to take like the pirate scenery and make it not pirate.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't think that they had to have had a hunch that people would have kind of manipulated the pieces and done different things with them, but I don't think they expected near the creativity that we've seen from people.
Yeah, I think they were like almost expecting it just to be like Roller Coaster Tycoon, but the next generation almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Just, yeah, some of the things that people do that are absolutely crazy. And like,
yeah.
In all honesty, like I was almost the same boat as you. I mean, I didn't really find Planet Coaster until I think about September or October. And
okay.
I just missed like the buy-in to the beta.
Oh, okay.
So I actually had to wait for the game to come out in order to actually play it. So I spent like the next few months like just watching people build stuff, and I'm like, I would do this.
Yeah, it's funny when you watch videos, you're like, oh, I would have, like, why'd you delete that? I would have kept that. That looks so good. Stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's really funny because thinking about it, it's like I never even expected myself to become like actually make YouTube videos about it at that point too.
Yeah, nor did I. I mean, the first thing, you know, I posted photos of my Eiffel Tower to Reddit, and that's when I had, you know, a couple people comment that, you know, they would want to see a build video of it. So that's why I don't have any footage of it, because I like wasn't even on my radar. But then after that, people were like, you should make videos, and so I did.
Yeah, I mean, like I've always had like kind of like the want to make YouTube videos, but I never really found the perfect game for. And It's really funny. I think like the first YouTube video I ever uploaded on like my channel was some like Elite Dangerous stuff, which is really funny considering it's Frontier.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I was in the Elite Dangerous beta when it came out, and that was like my first actual like YouTube video. I like recorded me like dogfighting with someone or something. It was really funny.
That's awesome.
But yeah,
go ahead.
But I think my first thing I wanted to do was City Skylines, in all honesty.
Oh yeah, that was for me too. Because not in terms of YouTube, but I really wanted to play that game, and like I said, I didn't really have any intention of doing YouTube videos, but like this game in particular, there's so many games that I have in my Steam library that I haven't played because this game is just so addicting for me. Like,
oh my God, I know.
I haven't really gotten tired of it yet, so.
Yeah, because it's like, I can go home and play. No, I got to play Planet Coaster.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel.
I have gotten my money's worth out of this game, I must say.
Yeah, for sure. So
they have made a good game.
Yeah, and I know that there's going to continually to be new releases and new updates and things like that. So I can only imagine what kind of game we'll have in even another 6 to 8 months. So
are they doing a paid DLC?
I think they've commented that they will be. I mean, there's like a drop down for it in the game. So
yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, I don't know what it will be, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they end up making it be. I could see it being like, I could see it being stuff that's not, functional in terms of it impacts gameplay, like for the casual gamer, the casual person who's doing the scenarios and all that kind of stuff. More like aesthetic stuff. And if you look at Elite Dangerous as kind of a template, I know that they have like special paints and things like that for different ships, and so I could see it being stuff like, not necessarily like paint colors, but special scenery objects and things like that. So
yeah,
which I know that's a sensitive topic for a lot of people. I mean, I like most people, I'm not a huge fan of it, but
same.
Yeah.
But like, I would understand if like their paid DLC kind of consists of stuff for more of like our type of building.
Yeah.
That with like super fine details and really small, tiny pieces almost.
Yeah.
Because like that wouldn't really like break the game almost for normal people, I guess, if that's a word. But like, because you wouldn't want to really like, I don't know, because that's really tough to think about too, because like they would want to make something that they get a lot of people to buy, because at the end of the day they're a business and they want to cater to everyone, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the camp of like, I would rather pay more money for a fully fleshed out DLC than just microtransactions, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and that's the same thing with me. I mean, like, they've been doing some really good free updates.
Yeah.
And
it's amazing. It's amazing what they've done.
And
so
some
far.
of those, I expected some of the things that we got. Like, this should be a like paid DLC almost.
Yeah.
Like, because we're just so used to that.
I thought for sure fireworks were going to be a paid DLC.
Really? Yeah. I didn't really think about that.
I mean, I'm glad that they aren't, but
yeah, really though.
But I also get, game development is not easy, because you have super passionate people that are buying your product, and then you also have a lot of people that will bitch about a $30 price tag for a game like this, which is totally worth the money, or whatever it is on Steam today. But even when it's on sale, it's like people are like, is it going to be cheaper? And I get everyone has different obligations financially and abilities financially and stuff, but they can only they at the end of the day, they have employees that they have to pay, and costs that they have to recoup. So it always, nothing drives me crazier than when I hear someone talk about bootlegging a game too.
Exactly.
It's like, that's people's time and effort and creativity that you're just stealing.
I mean, like, super off topic, but like, did you hear about like what Game Dev Tycoon? Have you heard of Game Dev Tycoon?
Yeah.
Like, what they did with their pirated version?
Mm-mm.
They actually leaked a pirated version, and the game consists of making a video game. Like, you have to actually make a studio and stuff. And if you had the pirated version that they released, after a while your studio will fail because you lost so much money due to pirating.
Oh, that's awesome.
And people actually complained on like the Steam forums. They're like, hey, I keep losing all this money to pirating. I'm like, well, because you pirated the game.
That's awesome.
I was like, as a developer myself, that just makes me really happy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, we're actually at the end almost. Oh boy.
Oh, nice.
So I guess we'll do a sign off. So I guess, yeah, I didn't even really talk about this building, but
yeah,
you guys will see the cinematics
any
for
of
it.
them, so we'll talk over the cinematics at the end, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, this video is, well, this building is pretty much just a recreation of like an ice cream shop that I saw from Main Street Disney. And that's pretty much it. Yeah, I just thought I really enjoyed the brick part of it, in all honesty.
Yeah, it looked really good. It was good to get some contrast in there, and I know we talked about that on Discord of just kind of the direction of the main street, and I think we're gonna have a lot more variety for sure. So it'll look. Anyway, great first start. For the first 2 buildings on the main street, I think it looks awesome. Especially happy with the scale that you started it at.
Yeah, I didn't want to go too high, and I didn't want them to be too small.
Yeah.
And zoomed out, they actually look really good with the year entrance.
Nice, good.
But,
good. Well, I can't wait to get it back, man.
Yeah, thanks. So, pretty much, yeah, I guess we'll sign off the video now because we're super past the time. So thanks everyone for watching. Make sure to head over to Ruble Trillions channel. I'll link that in the description. And check out Blue Spirit because we talked about him pretty much the whole episode. I'll put him in the description as well. Make sure to like the video, comment, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
See you guys.